this movie. Oh my...
You haven't heard about Don't Worry, Darling?
What? Where did you come from? Oh my gosh.
How have you not heard about Don't Worry, Darling?
Who are you people? What are you doing?
Ready to get caught up on the drama?
No.
Not so.
No, I said no. What is happening? Where am I?
So, it all starts 2 years ago when Harry Styles was brought in to replace Shia LaBeouf because Olivia Wilde fired him.
Okay.
Which naturally leads to Wilde Style.
Huh?
That's their couple name, right?
Yeah, has to be.
Yeah, because Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde then confirmed their dating in January of 2021.
But apparently,
Oh.
Florence Pugh was not happy with Olivia Wilde's on-set behavior, which is why she hasn't done any promotion for the movie. Hardly any.
Right. Yep, that's right. And Shia recently came out and was like, she didn't fire me. They didn't schedule sufficient rehearsal time. That ain't cool with me. I'm out of here. And he had receipts to prove it. So I'm just saying.
And not
But
to
I don't-
mention the circus that was Venice.
Or those custody
What is-
papers at CinemaCon.
And of course, Spitgate.
Right? Of course.
Spit Game? Okay, but what about the actual movie? What is it about?
Oh. I have no idea.
Yeah. No clue. Not a single one. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Tavern Talk. I'm Philip, and joining me this week is Becky Bartlett. Thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. No, Becky, you're an actress, but
right.
also president of the Women in Film in Arkansas
is
Society.
correct.
So thank
Yeah.
you for taking time out of what is undoubtedly a busy schedule to be here tonight.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Friday night, watch a movie. It was great.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it because honestly, coming into this, I wasn't sure what we were getting ourselves into.
Mm-hmm.
This week, we're talking about a movie you may have heard of. You may have heard more about it than the actual movie, but we've already talked about that. So, this week we're talking about Don't Worry, Darling. This is the second directorial effort from Olivia Wilde. She also plays a supporting role in this. But it was, I believe it was a screenplay by Katie Silberman. It was adapted, a story that she adapted. But a lot of, recognizable faces in this, a lot of, hot young actors and actresses.
Right.
Obviously, you have Harry Styles and Florence Pugh that are kind of leading this. Olivia Wilde is in it. You've got Chris Pine and Gemma Chan, Nick Kroll. But, so it has been a movie that has been, very much in the press for odd and difficult reasons. Everything but, the movie itself has been in the press. But
That's right.
we just came out of this. What is your kind of initial reaction to the movie itself?
Okay, well, first of all, I don't normally dress like I'm in the 50s.
No?
I thought I might just address that.
No, that's...
But that's kind of the era.
Yeah.
And, which is fun. I love that. My initial reaction, I think the first word I said was, wow, wild ride.
Yeah.
And, I would just say that it was building up to something, and I was curious. I was like, where is this going? And I don't know. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of different emotions that went into this thing. There's just like this kind of utopia, I'll say, a utopia
Right.
of this culture and this social realm that is established
They call
early
it
on.
Victory, is
Yes.
that right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's like a victory town or victory something or other.
It
like
is.
that.
It's just a community that's kind of like tucked away. They make it look like it's kind of in, the hills of California or something like
yeah,
that.
I would think
Lots of
so.
palm trees.
Yes.
And yes, very picturesque.
Yeah. The cars, the
Yes.
beautiful wardrobe, the little martini drinks and the music and, everything's perfect and picturesque.
Right, yeah.
So it certainly sets the tone with that. But it doesn't stay that way.
No, not at all. Not at all. It gets you know there's something off very quickly. Or at least I'd probably say, I don't know, it gives you kind of the first act to kind of become entrenched in the world and kind of comfortable yourself in this, again, picturesque place and all, everybody's clothes are I mean, obviously we'll talk about like the story and the themes that are going on here, but I mean, you have to first admire like the production design and the costume design, because it's just amazing. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I love the set design, and we were talking about you could tell that something was a little off. I would say probably the music. The music alerted the viewer that it makes you uneasy a little bit, and that kind of increased. Yeah. And but then you'd be taken back. And
no,
then
that's
you got
funny.
a little nervous.
Yeah. No, I actually wrote a little note while I was watching. It was like, the production design and the costume design, so flashy and great and everything, but the sound design is really good too. It's like really solid, because there's, we're not going to go into like spoilers and kind of say anything about like, we're not going to there is a twist. We're not going to give that away. I may ask you a little bit later what you thought of it, just general thoughts. But yeah, it definitely is building tension constantly. There's constant, and that's kind of funneled through Florence Pugh's character. Her name is Alice, which is kind of appropriate. The whole she's going down the rabbit hole kind of thing, I guess. But
I like it. Okay, I didn't catch that. That's good.
Yeah, and there's, I guess one thing I did kind of want to start with was, have you seen Booksmart?
What's 2 + 2?
And did you like Olivia Wilde's first movie?
So no, I haven't, and I actually didn't know that this was her second attempt. So
So that was very a lot simpler of a movie. It was a teen comedy, it was something that we had seen before. A lot of iterations of teen comedies before, and she kind of took that and put her own spin on it. And this reminded me of a couple movies too, and it's maybe not the most original thing I've ever seen, or original take on some of the themes that it's trying to tackle. But it is in the execution. Her movies are a lot in the execution, and she's swinging, making a much bigger swing here with this movie than with Booksmart. And I loved Booksmart. Booksmart was in like my top 10 of the year it came out.
What's 2 + 2?
It was really, really enjoyable. Again, it's not anything you haven't seen before, but it's really well done. And so therefore I was very much looking forward to this. And I think she, I do think she knocks it out of the park more so than like swings and misses. I don't think it's, it necessarily hits the high mark she was going for all the time, but it hits more than it misses.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you said that about alluding to other films.
Yeah.
There was another film, and I kind of don't feel like I should say the name of it because it might be part of maybe a spoiler, but it reminds me of a movie from the 70s that was disturbing. So there you go. But
is it?
Are you gonna say it?
I think I know.
Are you gonna say it?
Well, it was. That's definitely one of the movies that it reminded me of.
Okay.
That one, and I would say, and this might be a little bit of a spoiler too, but
Good morning.
I think that's safe to say.
Yeah.
I don't know if mine was safe to say. But
if we're thinking of the same one, we'll discuss off camera. But it's very much in the same vein.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Yeah.
It makes you think. That is something that I would say is my takeaway, is that I didn't just watch a movie and I was entertained and I walked out. I'm thinking. And, the social dynamics of everything that was involved in this film, it has layers to it, which is really cool, and what causes someone to do something.
Right.
Very vanilla. I'm not going to give spoilers, but I think that's what it's about. It's like human psychology and what causes someone to do something.
No, it made me think and you can tell me if this was kind of where your thought process went as well, but during it, I was like, oh, I'm very much guilty of this in a sense as well, in that I am not someone who cares to investigate the way the government works to such an extent that I'm like, you guys are corrupt and I don't like the way you're doing this. I am comfortable enough in how my life is going that I'm just I will put blinders on for certain things and be like, you know what, I'm fine. This is fine. And it's certainly going for something like that.
Yes.
There is a lot of ideas going
Big Brother.
on.
Big Brother's listening and watching.
Yeah. And it's just I guess it's kind of one of those classic scenarios of choosing between what's right and what's easy, is it is the easy route, is the comfortability of that worth staying on that easy route rather than challenging or,
Right.
doing what, inherently you might believe is the right thing.
Yeah, good points. I think, I was definitely raised to just trust everything. And I think
Right.
as I have grown into adulthood, I have realized the value of questioning and being a critical thinker.
Yeah.
And so, I think that is good. It's a good takeaway.
I don't want to assume anything, but we had talked before we did the review, and you'd said at one point in your life you'd been a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, yeah.
Did any of those because there are some literal visuals, such as the walls closing in,
Right.
her feeling like this world is suffocating her,
Yes.
things like that. So it was did any of that hit you differently than it might have hit me, I guess is what I'm asking.
Very good question. I feel that I loved that precious time where I was a stay-at-home mom, and there is joy in helping your family and raising your children and, being there for your spouse. There's so much joy in that.
Right.
And there's also an importance to keep up with your own self-care and your brain and just keep everything functioning. And it was really funny because I was a stay-at-home mom, but I wasn't home much.
Right.
I'm
I know.
constantly on the go. And so the whole adage is funny to me, but balance, that's it.
It is. I mean, that is, the key to it all. But,
Yes.
I guess that's kind of what, especially as we get towards the third act. And
Right.
I do wish there had been, in the kind of middle section is where the film stumbled a little bit for me, because it does build up and it gives you both kind of an explanation on what is happening and how it's happening.
Yes.
In a way, but it's I don't know, I wish maybe it'll be better on a rewatch, but
Okay.
the middle section, I needed the build up to be a little stronger, because there's a certain scene, and we'll that it's basically Chris Pine and Florence Pugh kind
Yes.
of going toe to toe
Yes.
with one another.
Which I liked.
I loved it. I loved it. And I love
Yes.
I have no shame in saying Chris Pine is just
Oh, yeah,
the
he's great.
best.
I'm curious to hear where she's going with this.
It's so good. And he just fits the role that he's asked to play here so well.
Yes.
It's so great. And I just felt like it was such a bait that he did to her, and she fell for it so easily. And I was
Yes.
like, oh, you're smarter than this.
Right.
And it just kind of felt like an easy way to get from one segment of the film to the next. And I just wanted, even though I love the scene, I
Yeah.
wish there had either been kind of more of that, developed over the span of the second act, but small complaints.
I hear you, and I appreciate that. I'm going to play devil's advocate, though.
Please do. No, that's the best.
Yeah, no, I think that middle scene really took the time to build the layers of each character. And you're like, oh, they're feeling this way, but they're also feeling this way. And then this person, just
Yeah.
have the different layers there. And one thing, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it, I loved it when she took the head of the table. And it was head to head.
Yeah, we're going to do this.
Yeah. So, and that's fine to say. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it's on.
Yeah.
Gloves are off.
Yeah.
You're right. She did fall for the bait, but I feel like that was needed for the story at that time.
Yeah.
So,
No,
I'll just play devil's advocate.
and upon rewatch, there's probably more little details hinting at where it's going than I realized, obviously, on first viewing.
yeah.
So it'll probably just now that we have the expectations where they need to be, it'll probably play a lot better. But I really loved that scene, and again, the performances across the board.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Florence Pugh is very well known for her ability and her presence and just her charisma, which is put to good use here. But what did you think of the performances?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm kind of a Florence Pugh fan now.
Yeah.
I had seen her in Little Women.
I want to be great or nothing.
So I had seen her in that and maybe something else too, but she has an incredible presence, like you said. And Olivia Wilde, I mean, unbelievably a 50s era woman.
Yeah.
I mean, she pulled it off great. Everyone did. I would say that the casting was phenomenal in this. Chris Pine too, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But no but about it. I thought that was really great. I just enjoyed the scenery, enjoyed all of those elements.
Yeah, no, and we touched on this in our silly intro or whatever, but Shia LaBeouf was originally supposed to play the Harry Styles part, and I could definitely see how that would have played out maybe more intensely, especially as the film gets darker as it goes along. I could see why he was maybe put in that role first, but I mean, I thought Styles did a good job. Like
he actually impressed me.
Yeah, I was worried because it was one of those cases where it's like, oh, am I going to be like cringing for him? I didn't know how it was going to go because you always get kind of nervous when musicians kind of try to make that jump or whatever. But yeah, no, he maybe didn't dig as deep as it needed it, but he got there in a couple scenes, it felt like, and it was just like, okay, you're
couple
doing
scenes too. I was like, wow, it's pretty good. Shia LaBeouf is a little edgy.
Do it.
True, good point.
but no, yeah. There's, Chris Pine is, like I said, great. His wife in the film is Gemma Chan, and she's really good. She doesn't have a whole lot to do here. But no. So we'll since I kind of don't want to say too much more there. Right. There is a twist, like we said. Mm-hmm. Where did you kind of come down on the finale?
It's interesting because I kind of felt myself getting nervous for how this was going to be resolved.
Right.
I was like, am I gonna hate it? What am I gonna do with this ending? And what are they gonna do with this ending? To me, I actually liked the twist.
Yeah.
It made a lot of sense, I guess. In the most fictitious way you could think of to say that statement.
Right.
But it did.
The I guess part is what got me too, because it was like, I did kind of, there was a question I was asking the whole time in my, to myself. I was like, I can't say it, but it's so hard to talk about. I know. But it was like, it was confirmed. I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like completely surprising. It was kind of like, yeah, where else are you going to go with this? Yeah. But I enjoyed the explanation of kind of the functionality of it and how this was being set up.
Very well said.
So I did like that part of it, and I would be curious to. I wanted to know more, so I guess that says something in and of itself. Yeah. I can't emphasize enough how gorgeous the movie is to just look at and take in. So, if nothing else, even if the actors or the gossip or the trailer didn't intrigue you, come see it on the big screen for the visuals alone. But kind of what we do at the end of the reviews here is an out of 5-star initial reaction rating. So what would your initial reaction rating be for Don't Worry Darling?
I'd say 3.5.
Yeah.
And 5 is the best, right?
Right,
okay.
exactly. Yeah. Good call.
Wait a minute. No, yeah. So probably 3.5. I think if I'm compared to every movie I've ever seen, I guess that would be an honest statement. But it was worthwhile.
But yeah, no, I was actually going to go 3.5 as well. That's kind of right where I landed.
I'm not even a movie reviewer.
No, it has a lot of aspirations, has a lot on its mind. It's so many cool factors to it. It just I think it had so much ambition. It maybe didn't hit those highs or hit those ambitions or achieve those ambitions as much as it wanted to. Yeah. But I thought it was really good and really fascinating. It may not have explained everything it had on its mind in a kind of interesting or convincing way all the time, but I think it did it well enough that audiences are going to be intrigued and invested, and even if they are just coming to this because they are a Harry Styles fan or a Florence Pugh fan, I think they'll be kind of both shocked and surprised and kind of satisfied with what the movie does do for it. So
never bored.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Fun.
Absolutely. Anytime, we do this every week.
Great.
But thank you, and thank you to the Movie Tavern, like I said.
Yes. Oh my goodness, this place is amazing.
Yeah,
I love
pretty
it.
Great. Yeah.
They bring you your food while you're eating and order whatever you want.
Yeah, if you have one near you, venture out, check out the Movie Tavern, check out Don't Worry Darling at the theater, and thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, do all the YouTube stuff. Hit the subscribe button, the like, the notification bell. We post a new review of the biggest release every week, so if you hit that notification bell, you'll get a notification when we upload a new review. So do that. Thank you guys once again. Thank you, Becky. I really appreciate it.
Thanks
we'll
so
see you
much,
next time. Peace.
Bye.